I gotta be honest, I would have been a little selfish in this situation, because what if he loses? What if he does earn a title fight? And what if he loses? Now he's not even the featherweight champion anymore. Should have held on to the belt, waited. Lopez and Volkanovski would have gladly fought for an interim championship. You go out there with nothing to lose. You're playing with house's money. We saw so many guys do that before, and I don't know that they had the same type of leverage that Ilia Topuria has right now.
I mean, it's respectful. It's honorable to vacate the belt, to not hold up division where guys been working so hard to get their shot at the title. He's doing it the right way, you know. And I've never seen him in person, but if he can make one, you know, everybody says he's heavy, he walks around heavy, but if he can make 145, I don't know how big he is, because some of these lightweights are huge.
Is that a fight that you would love to have?
That's a fight I want. I want that fight. That's another one just to prove everyone wrong. You know what I mean? He's a midget, lad. He's not a lightweight. He shouldn't be fighting at lightweight. He should have stuck at featherweight. And it's gonna be the downfall of his career.
Only because I just feel bad for him, because I understand how it is to work so hard only to fall short due to injury, not to anything else. And you know, if that's what I heard on him, he got injured during the weight cut, and I know that happened to Khabib. So you know, I just feel for him.
Ilia Topuria has decided to fight Islam Makhachev directly without facing Arman or other strong contenders in the lightweight division. The MMA pros have reacted to this decision of Ilia Topuria. The now former UFC featherweight champion Ilia Topuria will not be facing Arman, as confirmed by his team to the Russian media agency TASS. Ilia Topuria has recently vacated his featherweight title to move up to the lightweight division. The Georgian fighter has plans to compete against the reigning champion Islam Makhachev and become a double champion. According to reliable sources, Topuria's team told the agency, Ilia wants a championship fight. He will not fight for the status of a contender with Sarukian or anyone else. So the former featherweight champion has made it clear that he has moved up just to fight Islam Makhachev, and he will not fight with anyone else. There are some rumors that Topuria will fight with Arman, and the winner will get a title shot against the Dagestani star. However, Topuria completely declined such news and wants to face Islam without fighting against the top contenders of the division. On the other hand, even before Ilia Topuria moved, the lightweight champion Islam Makhachev made it clear that Topuria had to fight with other contenders before fighting him. I'm not going to give him a shot right away because he hasn't done all the work he was supposed to in his weight class. There are still contenders he needs to beat, but he doesn't want to cut weight anymore. Let him move up and earn his shot and will definitely fight. Islam Makhachev has not shown good interest in fighting Topuria. The lightweight champion also wants to move up to the welterweight division. Similarly, Khabib also believed that Topuria has to fight with some other strong guys of this division before getting a title shot with Islam Makhachev.
I think if he move up and he beat somebody like Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira, he's next. Why not? Because there is nobody.
So you don't think right now Ilia deserves a shot at 155 pounds?
Without fighting in 155? Without? No, I don't agree. Because Islam already give chance, and people talk bad about like, oh, he fight 2 times with Volkanovski, but the UFC pushed this fight, and this fight was good in first fight. But why Islam have to give 3 times chance for 145 champion? Why?
Dana White has also not confirmed anything yet about the next fight between Islam and Topuria. A few days ago, Dana White announced the UFC 314 and 315 fight cards, but he didn't reveal any update about the fight between these two. Dana said that nothing is confirmed yet about Topuria's debut fight in the lightweight division.
Topuria has felt like he's done all that he can in that division, and he feels like he's cemented his legacy, and his body cannot make the weight anymore, so Topuria will be moving up to 155 pounds and will be vacating the featherweight title.
However, the popular podcaster Ariel Helwani has revealed some insights from UFC. According to Helwani, the fight between Islam and Topuria is almost confirmed and is expected to happen at the end of this year. Ariel Helwani tweeted, "The plan is for Ilia Topuria to fight Islam Makhachev later this year, I'm told. Perhaps as soon as IFW. Lots to digest and dissect. We'll upload a quick reacts video to the channel shortly." Moreover, the former UFC interim lightweight champion Dustin Poirier has reacted to this decision of Topuria to move up to the 155 weight class. He praised Topuria for his outstanding performances in the featherweight division. Dustin Poirier is himself a strong contender for the lightweight title, but he believes Topuria has the skills to compete in this division as well.
There was a lot of big news that Dana White kind of dropped on Wednesday. The biggest one is that Ilia Topuria is vacating the featherweight title to move up to lightweight. I know you're on this Legends Only tour right now, but a lot of people seem to want to see that fight. I'm not asking if you would take that fight, but just what do you make of Ilia just vacating the belt and now moving to your division?
I mean, it's respectful. It's honorable to vacate the belt, to not hold up the division where guys been working so hard to get their shot at the title. He's doing it the right way, you know. And I've never seen him in person, but if he can make one, you know, everybody says he's heavy, he walks around heavy, but if he can make 145, I don't know how big he is, because some of these lightweights are huge.
Dustin Poirier also shared his thoughts about Topuria's wish to fight Islam before fighting anyone else in the division. According to Poirier, Ilia Topuria has done enough in UFC to earn a direct title shot against the champ Islam Makhachev.
And then they booked that fight against Volkanovski and Lopez for the vacant title. They haven't announced Ilia's next fight. Obviously, he wants to fight Islam. Islam's team seems to want him to maybe take a fight against a contender to prove he's a lightweight, so doesn't look like he's just beating up an undersized featherweight again. Do you think Ilia deserves the first shot at the title, or should he have to go through someone like an Arman or a Charles or someone like you or Gaethje or someone like that?
That's tough to say, especially like with all the contenders, how the lightweight division's been over the last few years. But with a guy like him, vacating the belt and moving up, finishing Max Holloway the way he did, like, I would give him a crack at the lightweight title right off the bat.
Dustin Poirier is a strong lightweight contender, and many fans now think that Ilia Topuria should fight Dustin Poirier before facing Islam Makhachev. Ilia Topuria also respects Poirier for his contributions to UFC, and he thinks if he competes with Dustin, then it will be a great fight. Ilia Topuria said, "I love that dog, Dustin Poirier. He's a fighter, you know what I mean? He goes in and he fights till he dies. You're gonna have that guy in front of you fighting and trying to take your head off. That's a very exciting fight for me, and I think for the fans also." However, Paddy Pimblett has a different opinion, as he believes that moving up to the lightweight division would prove to be the downfall of Topuria's career. Paddy, who will face Michael Chandler in a lightweight clash in the co-main event of UFC 314, criticized the Georgian star for vacating his title.
I can't see him getting a title shot straight away. I think he's going to have to fight like a Poirier, Arman, a Charles, if he wants to get a title shot.
I was going to mention Ilia Topuria, who moved up to the weight. Is that a fight that you would love to have?
That's the fight I want. I want that fight. That's another one just to prove everyone wrong. You know what I mean? He's a midget, lad. He's not a lightweight. He shouldn't be fighting at lightweight. He should have stuck at featherweight. And it's gonna be the downfall of his career. No, I'd just fight him anyway. I don't care. It doesn't have to be a title fight. I just want to fight him. I want to prove a lot of people wrong by Mufti, you know. I think he thinks he's better than he is. It's just trying to be a carbon copy of McGregor.
Paddy thinks Topuria has made a huge mistake by moving up to the lightweight division. According to Paddy, Topuria should have cleaned his division before moving up, as there are a lot of good fighters in the featherweight that the former champ hadn't defeated.
And you think it's a big mistake in moving up?
Yeah, big mistake. But I think he knew that in a rematch with Volk, fighting Volk when he hadn't been knocked out 12 weeks earlier with a naughty head kick, I think he knew Volk would give him a very tough test. Saying he cemented his legacy at the weight, like, it's a load of bullshit. Beat Volk again, beat Lopez, beat Evloev, then you cleared the division out, yeah, then move up. Champions are too quick to want to move up now and not defend the belt and go up to the weight above. You should have to defend your belt at least 3 times if you want to move up.
Islam's manager Rizvan Magomedov wants to see Ilia take on Charles Oliveira or Dustin Poirier before getting the title shot. Rizvan thinks that the featherweight has to prove himself in this division before eyeing the title. Islam has already fought against a few featherweight fighters, and that's why Rizvan feels Islam needs to fight against higher weight class fighters now. Rizvan Magomedov said, Topuria versus Dustin, Charles contender fight to prove he is legit lightweight, so we don't have to defeat another small featherweight. We need a big fight that makes sense for everyone. We already gave chances to the featherweight champ that was reigning for a long time. The coach of Islam Makhachev, Javier Mendez, has reacted to the decision of Topuria to vacate his title and move up to the lightweight division. Mendez acknowledges Topuria's achievements and he respects the Georgian fighter for that.
Ilia Topuria has made his intentions clear to come to 155, so it's official. So before we even get to anything else, man, I know we all heard the whispers, but what's your reaction, man? He actually vacated the belt. He won't be defending it. He is coming to 155.
Wow. Hey, respect, respect. I can't say any more than that, right? With huge respect.
Sharing his thoughts about whether Topuria deserves to get a direct title shot or not, Mendes has a reasonable opinion. Mendes admitted that Topuria is crossing the line by demanding a direct title shot against Islam Makhachev. However, Mendes knows the financial benefits of this fight, and he understands why UFC can make this fight happen.
Do you think that, let's say Ilia does get this shot against Islam, do you think it's deserved? Do you think he should have to fight someone else first? Do you think, in a sense, he's cutting the line here?
Well, of course he's cutting the line, but hey, if the fans, if that's what they want to see, that's what the UFC wants to see, then it's basically he is cutting the line, but it's not a true sport. In a true sport, you're cutting the line. In a sport like this, which is not a true sport, it's entertainment first. So if more eyeballs are going to pay attention to Topuria, then obviously that's what the UFC is going to want. So yeah, from a realistic, real true sport, yeah, he's cutting the line, but not from an entertainment. Because if that was the case, how many times did Chael Sonnen skip the line?
Javier Mendez has huge confidence in Islam Makhachev as he calls him a complete fighter. According to Mendez, Islam has no problem with fighting any deserving guy, and he will give his best against every opponent he faces.
He's complete everywhere. What have I always said? I always said it. Habib has always said it. He fights however we ask him to fight, minute by minute, second by second, round by round, because he can. So we can have one plan going in, and all of a sudden we change it. And guess what? We have a fighter that is able to change it because he's that good. So for me, it's not a matter of what he's going to do. It's going to be a matter of what Ilia is not going to be able to do. Let's see if that happens. And I'm not saying it is. I mean, whoever they put in front of us, I know one thing: Islam is a true champion. He's going to say yes.
Javier thinks that if Islam versus Topuria happens, then the result won't be different from Islam's previous title defenses. Mendez feels Topuria is a smaller guy compared to Islam, and despite his good grappling skills, Ilia still won't be able to beat a guy like Islam Makhachev. The veteran coach knows Topuria is a good grappler, but he believes that the grappling of the Dagestani fighters has no match in the entire UFC.
What do you think it looks like if Ilia Topuria tries to shoot in on Islam Makhachev in this fight?
He's a smaller guy. He's not as experienced on the ground as Islam. I don't think it favors him personally. I really don't. I know he grapples with his own people, etc., etc. But it's one thing to grapple with them. It's another thing to grapple with the likes of Habib and Islam and some of these other killers that are in Dagestan. It's a whole different level. And I've seen it, so I can honestly say there is no other gym that's going to have the type of caliber of grapplers that Abdulmanap's gym has. There isn't. That's just a fact.
Javier Mendez also declined to accept that Islam versus Topuria fight could be the fight of the year. Mendez said that Islam has been doing great and he can fight any fighter at the moment. However, the coach thinks that Arman should be the top contender for this title. He feels for Arman as the Armenian fighter missed his title shot against Islam at UFC 311 due to an injury that occurred just a couple of days before the fight.
Another big name where this is going to be potentially the biggest fight of the year, right? At least it's good to know that this could potentially be the fight of International Fight Week, the super fight. And I feel like for Islam, someone who is pound for pound the best fighter in the world, it's great to be able to do that, right? Especially while he's in his peak.
Yeah, and he will tie the record of Anderson Silva's most consecutive wins, of 16. So it's history for him. But I mean, just for me, it's I would rather have it been Patty the Batty or the number one guy I would want is Arman because I just feel bad for him because I understand how it is to work so hard only to fall short due to injury, not to anything else. And if that's what I heard on him, he got injured during the weight cut, and I know that happened to Habib. So I just feel for him.
Furthermore, Mendez has made it clear that Islam has no problem fighting any good fighter. According to Mendez, Islam can prepare for any fight within a couple of months, and he takes down anybody after that. Javier Mendez stated, All Islam needs is 2 months to prepare for anybody. He's not gonna care who he fights. You know, you make 155. You know, we all have the same attitude. We fight. You pay us. This Topuria is who you're offering. He's not gonna say no. If that's who they offer, that's who is being worked out, is on the table for Islam. That's what Islam is going to do. Moreover, the UFC legend Daniel Cormier thinks Ilia Topuria should fight Charles Oliveira before getting a title shot. He emphasized that Topuria should prove his mettle against the former lightweight champion before competing for the belt. Daniel Cormier said, "You match up Topuria and Oliveira, and they fight relatively soon. Islam is in Ramadan, and they don't want to fight during Ramadan. He doesn't want to train during Ramadan." Daniel Cormier further explained Topuria's decision to move up and vacate his title. Cormier believes that usually, a fighter can't say that he has cemented his legacy with just one title defense. However, the UFC legend believes Topuria has already defeated 2 of the greatest featherweight fighters of all time, and that's why he can make such statements.
Ilia does not have that. What Ilia is saying, or at least according to the boss, is that he can't make the weight anymore, and that his legacy has been defined already. Look, man, Ilia Topuria has become the champion and only defended the belt one time. Generally, when someone says my legacy is defined after one title defense, we would laugh at him. But how do you laugh at Topuria when he beat Alexander Volkanovski to become the world champion by knockout? Then he beats Max Holloway to defend and keep that world championship by knockout. So his process is a little bit shortened because we are all in agreement that there are 3 guys in consideration as the greatest featherweight of all time. He beat 2 in 1 calendar year. And that is why I believe he should have been the fighter of the year last year. Those 2 wins were insane.
Daniel Cormier believes that a fight between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira will bring a lot of stability to the lightweight division. According to Cormier, Islam won't fight Topuria at the moment, so a Topuria versus Oliveira fight should be the best option for UFC at the moment.
To what now is going to be the lightweight division. Makhachev doesn't seem to want to fight him right now. His manager, Rizvan Magomedov, said he needs to fight a real lightweight, put him against Charles. I feel like that's Rizvan going, hey, I'm taking you behind the curtain a little bit. I'm letting you know what we're thinking and what we are hearing. It's clues. It's all clues.
The coach of Alexander Volkanovski, Joe Lopez, has also shared his verdict on the potential fight between Islam versus Topuria. He thinks it will be a really exciting matchup. Lopez thinks Topuria can get great knockout skills, and he can give a tough time to the Dagestani fighter.
It's a hard one, you know, because Ilia's got that knockout power, so, you know, he lands one on anybody and, you know, it's good night, you know, and he's got pretty good wrestling, you know, he's hard to take down, so it'll be an interesting matchup, you know, especially coming up in weight. He's going to be a lot stronger because he's a pretty strong dude, so yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup.
Lopez also reacted to Ilia Topuria is moving up with just 1 title defense fight. Lopez praised Topuria for being a great fighter and human being.
What's your reaction to Ilia vacating this belt? It's not usually something that we see someone win the title and then move up straight away like this.
Yeah, look, I don't know. That's up to him, you know. That's something he's decided he has to do. I think he, you know, I actually spoke to him and ran into him a few times during fight week. Again, you know, Ilia, you know, he's you know, what he does in the media and everything else, you know, that's a role he plays, but you meet him out in real life and in person, he's a very respectful and nice person, actually. I got a lot of time for him. Good guy.
On the other hand, Ilia Topuria is trying to make this fight happen at all costs, and that's why he has started trash talking about Islam and Dagestani fighters. He claimed that the Dagestani fighters were just overrated and they don't have any special skills to be acknowledged. According to the former featherweight champion, all the Dagestani struggle in competitive fights and they mostly lose against tougher opponents. Ilia Topuria said, "None of them have special cardio and special stamina. The way they do it, it's like if you see fighting any of them, the thing they need when they go inside the octagon in the first contact, they want to feel that they dominate you." Topuria further explained the strategies of the Dagestani fighters and how they try to put pressure on their opponents. Topuria added, they start to build confidence that like, I can dominate you, maybe you escape, we go in the striking again, but I felt that I'm stronger than you. But if they feel in the first contact, in the first round, that they can't control you, that it's very competitive, their head goes down. Ilia Topuria also thinks that the Dagestani fighters try to dominate their opponent in the initial rounds. According to Topuria, the Dagestani fighters lower the confidence of their opponent by charging against them and making them feel that they have the upper hand in the fight. Ilia Topuria further claimed, this is what they try to do, to beat you in the earlier rounds, to feel that they can dominate you, that they are stronger than you. This is what they try to do all the time, but when then they realize that it's not like that, most of the time they lose that kind of fight. All the competitive fights, they lose. All of them. Or you see them dominating everything, like take the people down, dominate them in the ground, or if you see a competitive fight, they lose. So this is all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts and predictions about this potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. Subscribe our channel for more interesting content related to MMA, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get instant notification about our latest videos.